Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Back to School webinar. My name is Laura Chiara Velotti, and I am the instructional coach at Holyoke STEM Academy. In this Back to School webinar, we're going to introduce you to our STEM community and have you meet our staff. We're going to explain our remote learning schedule, communicate our remote learning expectations for students, staffs, and family, suggest how families can support students with remote learning, describe our Term 1 literacy focus, and inform parents about our iPad guidelines and policies. So welcome to STEM. At STEM, we are thinkers. We are engineers. We are speakers and poets and rappers. And we are full of curiosity. We are writers and readers. We are scientists. And we are teachers, collaborators, and musicians. At STEM, our families are our partners. And school might look a little different this year, but we're going to rock it again at STEM. So meet our staff. On the 6th grade team, we have Miss Lulu, our ESL teacher, Miss Schenkel in special education, Miss Woods for science, Mr. Graney for social studies, Mr. Blaze for math, and Ms. Malvoso for language arts. On the 6th and 7th grade team, we have Ms. Roberts for language arts, Ms. McLeod for math, Mr. Pacheco for special education, Mr. Wilworth for ESL, and on that team, we have Ms. Nestor, our ABL teacher, Mr. Graney for social studies, Ms. Woods for science, Mr. Labrie will be doing some science on that team, and Ms. Martin for special education. On the 8th grade team, we have Ms. Fontana for language arts, Mr. McGrath for math, Mr. Soto, our ESL teacher, Ms. Finn for special education, and Ms. Marsh for ethnic studies and ELA. Don't forget our specials teachers, our awesome Mr. Keene, our McBeats, Mr. DePilla, and Ms. Partika, our new STEM teacher. We couldn't do what we do without our amazing paraprofessionals, Ms. Brzezinski, Ms. Padilla, Ms. Figueroa, Mr. Perla, Ms. Priscilla Rodriguez, Ms. Judith Rodriguez, Mr. Colon, Ms. Pagan, and Ms. Hernandez. And our wonderful administration and counseling group. Mr. Kanata is our principal. Ms. Mogel is our guidance counselor. Ms. Ortiz is our office manager. Mr. Cosme is our dean of students. And Ms. Hall is our vice principal. At STEM, our mission is that we strive to be a community that is anti-racist, safe, and inclusive, a community that holds high standards for teachers and learning, a community that values all voices and cultures and perspectives, that builds moral character and global citizenship, a community that supports taking academic risks and perseveres towards excellence, a community that grows together as a family, a community that rocks. We are respectful, on task, collaborative, kind, and safe. So welcome to school year 2021. We are certainly starting a little differently this year with remote learning. And what you see here is an example of a student's schedule. So although every child's schedule will look a little different, this one could be like your child's schedule. The school day runs from 8 to 3, but not all of it is on live seminars. From 8 to 8:40, if your child is somebody with an IEP or is an ESL student, your child might be receiving direct services from a special educator or an ESL teacher. It's also an opportunity for students to be working on independent learning, either work they were assigned the previous day or a computer platform like Lexia or STMath. At 8:40 at STEM, our school day officially begins in our Zoom rooms. Our first one is Power Up. It's our morning check-in. Every morning at 8:40, we'll be taking attendance. Your child will be meeting with a teacher and a smaller group of students in an advisory format. We'll be doing a social emotional check-in, making sure everybody's ready for their day and that nobody has any questions or concerns. Then at 8:55, there's a short break. And at 9, our first content block begins. So in this schedule, it's ELA. It goes for 40 minutes. All our content blocks in the morning are 40 minutes. There's a 10-minute break, and then content block number 2. In this example, it would be math. Then following that, there's a break, and then there's science. And the last in-person synchronous is the 4th block at 11:20, and in this case, it's specials. From 12 to 12:45 every day, your child is free to have lunch, go outside, take a stretch break, and relax. Then at 12:45, there's the team office hour. Whatever work your child might have been assigned in the morning, they can bring that work to the team office hour and get support from teachers. There will be probably 2 teachers on every team office hour call to help children. Children can just have the Zoom room open and be doing their work and touch base with teachers if they have questions, or they can be engaging with the teacher the whole time. At 1:50, the last 2 blocks of the day begin, and these are blocks that are meant for intervention or extension work. So your child might be doing independent work on a computer platform. Your child might be working in a small group with a teacher that was set up earlier in the day or the day before. These last 2 blocks of the day are meant for special educators to reach out to children, ESL teachers, and they're also going to provide children opportunities for enrichment. For example, we have a teacher who's going to be putting together a coding class. And your child's day ends at 3. So what exactly does it look like to be at a virtual class meeting? Many of you are probably familiar with it now, and here's an image. Teachers will hold these daily Zoom whole class meetings from 9 to 12, as you saw on the schedule, so there will be 4 per day. Students are expected to arrive to the Zoom class on time and ready to learn, and links to these daily meetings will be provided to your child through Google Classroom. They will probably only have 2 links, one for their Power Up and one for their content area classes, and that will be the same link they use all day, every day, to make it simpler. So assignments will be assigned through Google Classroom, and parents and guardians will be sent an email inviting you to sign up for the Parent View option. Tutorial videos will be provided to children whenever introducing a new skill, a new app, or a new website, so that they can go back and look at the tutorials even when they're not online with a teacher. Daily team office hours after lunch will also be there every day for teacher guidance and support. You see here at the bottom of the screen in purple, Thursday, March 5th, this is an example of what it looks like on a student view of Google Classroom when they're assigned assignments. So you see here 3 purple dots. These were the 3 assignments assigned that day. From the parent view, if you choose to get the daily or weekly reports, you would see it looks a little bit like this iPhone. You would learn what % of the work has been finished or anything that is missing. We will be putting grading rubrics and due dates on every assignment. Teachers will provide feedback within 3 days and will contact home if students are missing work, especially by the time, if it were to come that they're missing up to 20% of their work. Students and parents can also access current grades and school brains at any time. So we have many extra supports provided for students this year. The special education students and English language learners will be scheduled for one-to-one or small group instruction during those direct service times, either the first thing in the morning or the last 2 periods of the day. Some ESL or special education teachers might also be working in small groups in the team office hour after lunch, and they will be pulling small groups out of some of the content area classes, and these are called breakout rooms. They will also be extra support for all STEM students. So all STEM students will be part of the morning advisory group called Power Up. Again, this is designed to check in with students to make sure things are okay, to make sure that they aren't struggling with anything. And the point of contact teachers that are their Power Up teachers will be also calling home once a week to for that weekly homeschool information. And students will have the ability to communicate with teachers through Google Classroom anytime. So when in remote learning, there are expectations for students and teachers. So when in a virtual class meeting, like Zoom, students will be actively engaged by posting comments in the chat or using emojis and reaction tools appropriately, by making verbal comments during discussion, by keeping the video on if possible, or using chat and audio comments frequently. Active participation is a big part of your daily class grade. And while in Zoom rooms, students will avoid distracting behaviors such as texting on other devices like during live class meetings, playing video games while in live class meetings, or watching YouTube or other social media sites. We don't get to see you for very long in each class each day. And when you're with us in a Zoom room, we want you to be focused on the content and be ready to learn. So every child at Holyoke is asked to sign a student's responsibilities agreement. And this can be found, I'm going to click on it here. This can be found at the Holyoke Public Schools website. Here it is for pre-K to 5 students. It's very simple. And then if you're a middle school or high school student, you're a young adult and you're treated like a young adult. So when you sign this agreement, you are signing that you're going to focus on getting a dedicated space to do your work. You're going to focus on trying your best, being on time, and paying attention in your Zoom rooms. But this is also a responsibility agreement for when we get back together in person. And this is helping children understand the things they need to watch out for in terms of their own personal health and the things they're going to agree to do to be a responsible citizen in this time. Wearing a face covering or mask whenever they're in public, social distancing, and so forth. So we also took this student responsibilities agreement and we connected it to our ROCKS values. So we're respectful, on task, collaborative, kind, and safe. And we took the bullet points on that responsibilities agreement and we applied them to being respectful, like using kind and on task comments when participating in discussions or chats. We're on task by arriving on time to our virtual class and getting started on the activator right away. We're collaborative because we participate during breakout rooms. We're kind because before we post any comment online, we think, is my comment helpful and is it related to the topic? And we're safe because we stay on approved sites, we don't give out our personal information, and we don't take photos during live class meetings. To help students at home this year, every child will be given an at-home learning kit. It will be a binder or a folder with grade-level resources such as vocabulary lists, reference sheets, rubrics, and models of high-quality work. And it will also have some materials and tools for learning, like index cards, sticky notes, pencils, a writing journal, STEM kits with building materials, and fidget tools. We're trying to make learning fun. Whether you're with us in the classroom or at home, we want students to explore and in their world and enjoy learning. You can help us by supporting learning at home, by setting aside a quiet space and time for your child to focus on schoolwork. Provide a table or desk as a place for your child to do their work. Be aware of your child's remote learning schedule. Help keep our iPads fully charged and working by reminding your child to plug it in every night. Asking your child to fill out the tech help form if the iPad is not working correctly. And that form can be found on our website, our Holyoke STEM Academy website. And to limit distractions in your child's workspace like cell phones or video games, making sure they're off and away. And if possible, having siblings in a separate space or engaged in quiet activities nearby. Also, please help us support reading at home. The facts about reading are this. Reading is the #1 way to build vocabulary and knowledge about the world. During our spring shutdown, 90% of STEM students stopped daily reading. Research shows that children need to read for at least 20 minutes a day in order to continue to grow and develop their skills as readers. Why does it matter? If you look on the left here, in the green column, if a student reads 20 minutes a day, that's 3,600 minutes per school year, which means they're exposed to 1,800,000 words a year. Imagine the knowledge about the world that 1,800,000 words provides you. Not only does it help students score in the higher percentiles on standardized tests, which will get them into the classes they most want to be in high school and in college and career beyond, but it will also help them be ready for their life and be successful after high school and college. So how can you support reading at home? At STEM, children are going to be asked to do a nightly read aloud routine, starting probably the second week of school. In this routine, your child will be recording him or herself reading a short text into what's called the Flipgrid app. It will be most fun if they're reading this text to a family member, a sibling, or a parent, or a grandparent, or uncle. Reading and then recording what you're reading allows a child to self-reflect and to be accountable for making progress every day. Also, please ask your child about his or her weekly Lexia goals. We're asking children to do 25 minutes of independent work on the computer program called Lexia every day. It will be helping your child work at their personal reading level. And teachers will be looking at the data daily and weekly and pulling small groups or giving one-to-one instruction as needed. And you can access the Lexia at Home resources site if you would like more information or more resources to help your children with reading. Finally, support learning at home by joining our Class Dojo page and by accepting the Google Classroom Parent View when you're invited. Also, check SchoolBrains Weekly to see updated grades, and communicate weekly with your point of contact teacher. So every child's Power Up teacher is their point of contact teacher. They will be arranging a schedule with the family to call or text once a week or once every 2 weeks. Also, we'd like to invite you to participate in upcoming student-led conferences sometime in mid to end October. And conference topics for Term 1 will include a social-emotional check-in, a check-in about how remote learning is working for your child, and a check-in on reading progress over the term. So, don't forget, we are a lucky school at STEM. We're one of 253 VILS schools. In other words, Verizon Innovative Learning has given us a grant to provide iPads to all of our children and to do the professional development that teachers need to make iPads support learning in classrooms. Every child has a 32 gigabyte iPad with a case and charger, and every child has 5 gigabytes of high-speed data per month in case they're not able to connect to Wi-Fi. So if you go to the park or grandma's house, you can still use your iPad. The program outcomes is that Verizon is hoping that students and teachers will become more proficient with technology. We're hoping to increase student engagement, increase their achievement in reading and math, and increase their interest in STEM subjects and science, technology, engineering, and math careers. Part of the VILS initiative is to teach children digital citizenship and safety online. As part of our STEM class, students will be learning to be responsible, safe, and productive digital users online. If you haven't gotten your iPad yet, if you are a new student to STEM or a 6th grader, we still have a few iPad rollout events coming up next week. Tuesday, September 8th at 2:30 and Wednesday, September 9th at 5. You can sign up on a link that's on our school website, and social distancing will be in effect. If you are a returning 7th or 8th grader, we have 2 Meet the Teacher events where you can pick up your at-home learning kit and meet your grade level team teachers. The 7th grade, the date is Wednesday, September 9th at 2, and for 8th grade, the date is Thursday, September 10th at 2. And again, social distancing protocols are in place. Please have all members wearing masks. All of our contact information is on our website in case you have questions about special education or English language learning or family services or counseling. And at any time, you can call our school at 413-535-0345. Thank you, and we are so excited to get the school year started at STEM this year. Please reach out at any time if you have questions or concerns.